Look at me. I'm live. I'm live. Ooh, I started the streamy. I started streamy. Streamy. Look at me. I'm a streamer. I'm a streamer. I got a camera. Ooh, the camera. The camera looks at me. The camera looks at me and it shows you me. It shows you ugly. Ugly me. Yes. Yes. Look at ugly me. Ho, 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 ho. We're gonna have a day today. Oh, today's gonna be a day. It's gonna be a day. You know how I can tell? The fargan sun is coming up. That makes it a day. Not night, not evening, mostly morning, but it's gonna be a day. Morning turns into day. Day. And that's what we got. We got one viewer. I got one viewer at Stream Elements. Nice. This is a funny little experiment morning for me. I don't know how it is for you guys. I know for me, it's gonna be like this. Ooh. Burbles. Burbles. Don't chat for a week? Yeah, easy. Easy week, easy. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. Sigma is live. No one is here, but Sigma is live. Sigma. Who's the Sigma? I'm supposed to be the Sigma. Han. Han the Elder is Sigma. Sigma. Not Alpha, not Beta, but Sigma. Sigma. Look at old Sigma Man. Look at Sigma Man with his cough. Coffee morning. Liquid brown. Liquid brown. Ooh, Nintendo Direct for Switch 2. That's gonna be cool. That's gonna be cool. Good morning, Danny. Uh, my my older brother is the Nintendo slash classic, not current, but classic Disney and Nintendo. Bright colors, cartoony, bubbly stuff. Loves the shit out of it. We are fingers crossed waiting for the Switch 2 because it supposedly is going to be coming out with Mario Kart, which never fucking happens. Mario Kart is always an extra side game. It's one of the most popular franchises that Nintendo has, and they always sell it separately. But this time, it's supposedly going to be bundled with the Switch 2. Definitely looking forward to that if that comes out like that. The other thing is Wii Sports Resort. Now, I don't know if you guys have played or if anyone has played Wii Sports Resort. Wii Sports Resort was cool because there was like an island that had all the different little activities. Like you could fly the plane that was attached to one part of the island. It's going to be released on June 5th. Nice. But anyway, Wii Sports Resort was cool because it was bright, it was colorful, there was a tropical island. You had all the activities like bowling and sword fighting and all that stuff. But the one thing that I wanted more than anything else is like another game like that where you could wander like just sandbox it, just wander around the island freely and explore all this stuff. No no goal or anything, just exploration. Like you know how like when you're playing like Satisfactory or one of those type of builder games, how like part of the cool part of the nifty factor of that game isn't actually playing the game, it's just stopping and enjoying the scenery kind of thing. I want more of that for like Wii. You know what I mean? I want bright, colorful, happy looking scenery that I can just walk around and look at. I think it'd be awesome. I'd probably waste a lot of time doing just that, taking screenshots, because it'd be fun. Oh, you know what else would be fun? They should bring back they should bring back like the old. Remember how you like I don't know, maybe you guys were kids. Social media used to have really cool little like flash style games like Happy Island. Happy Island was a cool one because it had nice music and it had good colors and it was happy, happy looking. There's like no bad stuff to it or anything like that. It was cool, so I dig that. Um, Yeah, yeah. Look. I'm outside my mind right now. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I don't even. I don't have the presence to be able to play a game right now. I haven't even been on the lawn this morning talking, which is probably a mistake. You know, I should probably get people amped up and everything. And what is this? In this? What the heck is going on in there? See who's even here. Yay, we got Groot. Good morning, Groot. Good morning. I have no brain. I have no brain today, so take it easy on me. Bad idea to check on the lawn. Nah, man, I got to do it every now and then. But honestly, the sheep needs to kick back. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, I was avoiding the lawn all morning this morning. Uh, Mostly, like I've been losing a lot of sleep lately. You know what I mean? I've been losing a lot of sleep lately. I've been really tense. I've been really wired up. And I just felt like I needed to unwind a little bit this morning. You know, like not plug in so directly right off the bat. Uh, you know, unfortunately, I did have to do some dishes this morning, so I didn't get like a full wake up and spend an hour or two just kind of putzing until I got my blood flowing and get all together and everything. But um, but we're doing all right. We're doing all right. And then I gotta say, all right. I want to say this. I would like to give my apology. I have been meaning to do a lot of things. Meaning to do a lot of things. The intent is there. I have not had the energy and the time and the wherewithal to be able to drop what I need to be able to do what I want to do and what I'm trying to do. So, art projects are going really slow. I did finally hand off my more recent music project. I don't have to put any time into that anymore, that not that I'm aware of anyway, and that should produce results, which I'm looking forward to. Um, Turns out I no longer have to sing any of it. I All I had to do was build the bones of the thing and then hand it off, and other people are going to sing it. We're going to be good. I'll still get my credit, I think. No, I'll get credit. Um, but yeah, art projects have been taking a back seat, and things that I've been wanting to do for the lawn have also been taking a back seat. And honestly, gaming with you guys has been taking a back seat. I've been meaning to play Final Fantasy 14 with Sharky and Twits and Stark and Zoe and get further along and kind of build a better rapport with people, and it's been rough. It's been rough. And then also I've been trying to branch out and interact with other streamers, you know, which is hard enough to do as it is. It's actually like it's easy to chit chat with people about bullshit, but it's hard to approach a person and be like, "Hey, I already know you're a streamer. Guess what? I am a streamer. Let's do stuff together." So what's we doing today? Man, I don't even know. I don't know if we're doing anything today. I'm mostly just blowing off steam out of my skull because I don't know. There's a lot rattling around in there, and I feel like I need to say some shit. I hope that's okay. Um, I hope that's okay. I mean, I could try to do something, but it's not going to be like I'm not going to. I don't know if I'm going to be all that entertaining right now. I have to admit, like I feel bad almost going live so that I could tell you guys that I'm not entertaining. It's so counterproductive and like not intuitive at all. Like, hey, watch me not be fun. Just some old man sitting in his robe laughing about nothing. Oh, oh. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? The spoilers. Oh, you can't do that to me, man. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Wow. Okay. So, you know what? I'm feeling zesty. I'm feeling zesty. Almost 1 minute done of the clip. Oh my gosh. No. All right. All right. All right. You know what? I'm hip. Let's see it. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Let's do this. What does it look like? Only hands. Hi, Steffi. Hi. Look at that. It's only hands. This is gonna be good. This is gonna be good. Also, I don't know. Groot's been working on one. Stark has already worked on one. I'm sure you guys saw. I'm having a micro contest. Micro contest. Hopefully, we get enough of it in there that we can be able to pull this off for Monday. But um, I'm gonna um, I'm gonna do some. I'm gonna do some. I'm gonna do some adult dating. Well, online dating things. I'm gonna do online dating things. Hop onto the Discord. Join in the Tinder profile submissions, and we'll see what kind of a Tinder profile I can cook up with your guys' help. Let me see what else here. Fat storage for cold periods. They look like jiggly butts. They are jiggly butts. They don't look like jiggly butts. That is jiggly butts. That is what jiggly butts are. Fat storage. Wow. Look at me. I look like shit. So guys, what else can we do? What else is fun stuff? What else is like fun, goofy stuff that we can do? We can make game cards. We can. Oh, creative writing. Creative writing. I enjoy creative writing. Wait, what? What is this? No, I don't need to look at that. That's not even for me. That has nothing to do with me at all. Nope, 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 nope. Mm-hmm. That is not me. That is someone else doing that. Okay, guys, what am I doing? What am I doing right now? What am I doing? I don't know what I'm up to. Well, we don't need that camera on right now. We need this guy. And we need... You know what? Let me see here. Let me see here. I'm just going to do something real quick. I hope you guys don't mind as I just do a little thing real quick here. Do a little thing real quick. This guy, let's go to... Boop, 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 boop. Ooh. Do you guys mind if I do a little reaction content? A little reaction content? Cuz I want to react to this. I have this sure? Okay. I have this I don't care about most of this stuff. But I do care about this. I was saying my brother is like super into classic Disney stuff. I like classic Americana. I think Disney used to be the pulse of the U.S. You know what I mean? As far as like our family values and stuff like that. So I think anything that pertains to like Disney and movies and stuff and why they're not what there should be is kind of an interesting topic. So plus I like Sydney Watson. She's she's an interesting cookie. Snow not so white. Slow white. Slow white. Snow tan. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Sydney Watson. She's an interesting interesting lady. She's from Australia but lives in the U.S. and has some interesting takes on things. So let's watch Sydney mouth off about why movies are bad.
At this point, my Groundhog Day is living Groundhog Day.
That's awfully bright.
Hi, my name is Sydney. Welcome back to hell. And as per usual, before we launch in, today's video is sponsored by Incogni. And of course, me and my company, Lions Tea Exchange. As many of you know, I am running an up to 40% off sale on the site.
I don't care
if you
about
are
your...
looking for something delicious
Sorry,
early
hon.
today on April Fool's Day, but it turns out that I April Fooled myself because I forgot to turn on my microphone. So here we are. Second time's the charm. I hope you love this video and you watch the whole thing because I have suffered to make it. Now, I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm assuming you're on the same page as me, but I feel like every time I turn around, there's some new remake, reboot, adaptation, sequel, or prequel that is being vomited out at us. I am not joking. I just saw a thing.
This is so true. I've had this conversation so many times recently, and I almost am ashamed to say how many times I've had this conversation. Stop remaking stuff. Where the hell has imagination gone? Where has imagination gone? Like, no one even tried. Like, this is one of the reasons why I put the I Wrote This channel. Like, I like short stories. I like that people get creative and they have an imagination and they sit there and they daydream in their head and then they write it down, and it's different than what's come before it. You know what I mean? Like, I like when people can take an idea and run sideways with it and do different stuff. And so this is kind of a pet peeve of mine is, dude, there's only so many movies out there. You can make new ones. There's other stories. I promise there's other stories. Why are we remaking the same movies?
About Narnia being remade, and Meryl Streep will play or voice Aslan. It was the wording of this was actually confusing. Like, why? Who is asking for this? Well,
yeah, for real.
I, for one, am looking forward to our female Aslan and all of the transgender woodland creatures.
All the imaginations of DreamWorks.
We have original Narnia
Probably.
movies, and they're really not that old. Like, they were made within the last 20 years or so. Never mind, answered my own question. They were made within the last 20 years? Well, I guess they're due for a reboot. Anyway, as basically all of you know by now, this trend has been going on for quite some time. And as far as Hollywood is concerned, absolutely nothing is sacred and nothing is safe. And I, for one, am tired of it.
She's not alone. I am also bugged about that. Like, dude, there are some movies where, yeah, you could remake it. There is no need to remake it. It was perfectly good the way it was. No reason to change anything. No reason to update it. No reason to add new people or new characters or even redo who was playing what part. No reason at all. Don't need any of that. It's nonsense.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
That's too damn bad!
I mean, looking at the list of best-ranking films from 2024, outside of Wicked, which you could argue is still an adaptation from the stage show, the top 10 movies are all remakes or sequels. Even for the worldwide rankings, the vast majority of films that did well follow this exact same thing.
Bad
Seriously,
Boys,
guys,
Kingdom,
I need to know who is watching
the
Sonic the
Garfield movie.
Hedgehog. Why is this here? That's basically the theme of this video. Why is this here? Why am I here? If only to suffer. At this point, while most of us, I would argue, are hanging out for something new and interesting, we're instead handed the same handful of stories over and over and over again. In 2025 and 2026 alone, we will have the live-action remakes of How to Train Your Dragon, Snow White, Lilo and Stitch, and Moana, just to name a few. We also have the upcoming reboots and remakes of the Karate...
Alright, hold on, go back to that. Go back.
Remakes of How to Train Your Dragon, Snow
Go
White,
back.
Lilo and Stitch...
Really? Really? They're doing a live-action Lilo and Stitch. Why? Why? There is no reason for this. Alright, look, if Stitch was a Muppet, right? Like an actual real animatronic puppeteered device. Like, that'd be one thing. But look at this awful CGI. I mean, it's not the worst CGI I've ever seen, but they CGI'd this poor character. And then look at Lilo.
Name of you.
Okay? Perfectly fine. Little islander girl. Alright? That fits. But then they're gonna... Like, I don't know if you guys can tell this, but... Oh, here, let me move my fat head. See this poster on the wall? And this other stuff on the wall? That's fucking CGI. This is not actual background right here. This is CGI background. This is CGI background. Why? Why would you make a live remake of a awesome cartoon, but then not make it a live remake? You have a live character with a CGI scene. Why? 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 It's not cheaper. It's not less expensive. Yeah, I mean, Groot knows. You have any idea how long it would take to actually make up and render all this frame by frame?
We also have the upcoming reboots and remakes of The Karate Kid, Superman, Fantastic Four, Shrek, Toy Story, Harry Potter, Jurassic Park, Naked Gun, Running Man, and Final Destination. And
Why?
I'm only scratching the surface, to put it
Okay,
mildly.
actually, Final Destination was already a live movie, so a live remake, who cares? But it's a remake still. Shit. Disney's too lazy to make movies. That may be the case. I mean, they have a whole, like, building full of people that are writers for Disney, but I have a feeling that either Disney is too scared to do what those people are writing, or those people are too useless to write anything new. Like, the only thing they can do is go, well, we have that over there and it's almost mostly done, so maybe we could just kind of tweak it a little bit and get paid. Maybe.
Funnily enough, when I started working on this video and collecting the remakes and whatever that have been done in the last sort of 10 to 20 years, I asked Grok the AI for help and input what I wanted, and it came back and was like, yeah, that's too many to list, friend. No. I can't help but find that funny that even the AI is like, stop! Anyway, with all of the
When the
recent drama
dude, when the AI is telling you to knock it off, that's too much. Stop it already. It's time to hang up the hat. Time to pull it. Time to put them spurs up. Unsaddle that horse. Just put it away. Just put it all away. There's no good left coming out of any of that. There's no good left coming out of any of that. When the AI is telling you you've done it too many times, fucked.
Surrounding the new Snow White remake, it really got me thinking about the current state of entertainment, why people are hating what's being churned out by Hollywood, and why Hollywood refuses to engage with the new ideas. And honestly, as a 90s baby, this is something that I've wanted to talk about for a long time, not just with relation to television and film, but also with relation to basically everything, where I feel like things that we grew up with are now being recycled for this current generation, but without the heart and the soul and the things that made those things at the time for us so fun and enjoyable. I feel like it's a lot with relation to music as well. I don't know if you guys have noticed too, but music that was really popular when we were younger is being remixed for this generation, and it's just oddly worse. Like, they'll take I'm Blue and that song out of Romania. I don't want to get copyrighted, but you get the idea. In lieu of the music, please enjoy my copyright dance. I'm pretty sure I heard Cascada being remixed recently, and it made me throw up in my mouth. So yes, that is what we're going to talk about today, but exclusively.
I feel her on this. This is me in a nutshell. When no one's looking. When no one's looking, it's me doing my little copyright dance. I can't find it. Oh well.
Exclusively with relation to Hollywood, film, and television, because I would love to know why nothing new is being created, and why most of us feel this sense of unease watching our collective childhood memories be destroyed. And of course, all of my regular disclaimers, this video is by no means exhaustive. I'm not going to hit every single point in this topic, and I will be focusing on things that I think are of interest. So before you once again board my hell gondola, and by the way, when I say gondola, guys, I mean this kind of a gondola, not this kind of a gondola. I don't even know where you got this. More importantly, how many...
Okay, there's reasons why I like Sydney Watson, and that was one of them. She's a goofball. She's kooky. She's a very intelligent girl, obviously kind of pretty, but also
Many of you have been on the gondola for
she's
this
goofy.
long, thinking we were in a gondola. What did you think all of the river references meant? Okay, anyway, we're in the gondola now again, and before we get into the things that are crap about Hollywood and together we are sad collectively about it, let's hear from today's sponsor, Incog.
No, let's not. I don't want to hear from today's sponsor.
Brokers, then click the link in the description or
Blah,
go to
blah.
incogni.com/Sydney. And don't forget to use code Sydney for 60% off an annual plan.
Okay.
Back in 2021, actor and producer Matt Damon appeared on the show First We Feast. During the episode, the host, Sean Evans, asked Damon what was driving the sentiment among viewers that movies aren't made for them anymore. Damon explained that the shift in Hollywood was largely due to the death of the DVD. When movies were made in the past, they weren't entirely...
Actually, okay, since she's probably not going to play that whole clip, I'll short TLDR what Matt Damon was talking about. And it's something that's actually pretty relevant to the Snow White right now. So basically how it works out is this. Up until the early 2000s, DVDs were still everywhere, right? You got a movie coming out, it came out, and a few weeks later it's out on DVD, and then you have the extended cut, the director's version, and all these other little DVD formats, right? And so basically how it works out is this. Say you spend $100 million on a movie. Now, in the opening weekend, you only get back $60 million. You still have a huge deficit, right? And you're going to have a huge drop-off after the opening weekend, so your ticket sales are only going to maybe help you break even for the movie, which isn't a profit, right? Yo, Dark. And so how they were getting their profits is, generally speaking, you need to make about 75% to 100% of what your movie costed in order for it to start making a profit, right? So you spend $100 million, you need to make $175 million to start being profitable, in theory. And so how they used to do that is you drop your $100 million, you get your $75-80 million back from theater ticket sales, and then you have the DVDs. And over the next year or 2 years, every month, you're getting a huge secondary wave of income off of DVD sales, right? And that's why they were so hard about piracy and all this other stuff, is because these studios really need those DVD sales in order to make up the movies. Fast forward 15 years. It's now 2015, say between 2015 2020. The explosion of the streaming service. And you'll notice how about 2018, 2019 places are things like Redbox, the DVD rental thing that you see in your grocery store, stuff like that starts disappearing because streaming services. And now you don't even need to rent a movie. You can just click a button and boom, it's there on your phone, tablet, or television, and you can watch it, and it's cheap, it's easy, you don't have to return the thing, you know, all this convenience, right? Kills the DVD. There's no point to DVDs now. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but PC towers no longer come with a Blu-ray DVD drive. They don't even have it. It's considered an outdated technology. This is a problem for the movie industry because now you drop your $100 million on a movie, you actually have to cap that $175 million from your theater ticket sales, because DVD sales aren't going to happen. So nowadays we have this issue where movies either have to be big budget enough to be able to pull in ridiculous sales in the theater, or they have to be low budget enough that their ticket sales in the theater will far outstrip whatever they put into it, right? And so that's kind of the death of Hollywood right now. And what she's referencing is that because there isn't any DVD sales, there is much less leeway in Hollywood to be experimental or kind of frivolous with their movie making. They have to run everything as tight as possible to make as big a profit as possible right off the jump. Otherwise, they don't make any money. They just lose money now. So, you know, the drive to be creative is probably not as strong as it used to be because there is less of a safety net for the movie industry. And I think that I think that is more or less what they're talking about by
on box office performance because people would later buy the DVD, leading
Right.
to another influx of sales. However, when this was made obsolete as technology developed, that changed the movies that studios were prepared to make. He went on to add just how much money would have to be made on a small budget film in order to get everyone paid and to make a small profit, saying that needing to earn these massive sums of money makes it harder to take risks in film creation. I am not joking when
That's
I
what
tell
I
you
just
that
said.
I just read an article about a Warner Brothers executive saying that they would rather focus on big existing IPs than making something new. Oh my god, does this mean creepy CGI Looney Tunes? Please no.
Yes.
No more
Yes, it
of
does, by the
this.
way.
Damon
I don't know
was
if you
not
know,
alone in expressing
that is a thing that has been proposed and is probably going to happen. All of your favorite old school Looney Tunes and Merry Melodies cartoons are probably going to end up in a new adaptation within the next 10 years. Because they're running out of material that they can recycle.
these
So
ideas.
look forward to your childhood
In
memories
fact,
playing.
they had been echoed before and
Darn.
after by several notable Hollywood figures. Back in 2018, actor Anthony Mackie said that Hollywood only caters to 16-year-olds and China, suggesting many film classics of the past would just never be made today,
Nope.
such as The Goonies, Halloween, and The Thing. He added, "It's just a different time now. Hollywood makes movies for specific audiences as opposed to just making good movies, and that's why people stopped going to the movies, because most movies suck." Even as recently as a few
Yup.
months ago, Quentin Tarantino blasted the state of filmmaking in general, asking, "What the hell is a movie now?" He also criticized how fast films go from the cinema to streaming services, making the bold statement that 2019 was the last year of movies. This was in reference to the huge box office numbers in 2018.
All right, so that's a good point. There is still physical media. You still can buy a movie on DVD. It's just less prevalent. And you have a good point. There are times when streaming services go down and those companies could fold and all of that accessibility could be gone in a heartbeat. You know what I mean? So yeah, having the physical medium is definitely nice. Like as an example, you guys know my internet was going down pretty frequently the other day. We had DVDs. Yeah, we got the Goonies. We've got Ghostbusters. We've got Star Wars. We've got all kinds of movies on DVD. So we're good. We're entertained. It's nice when you have over 1,000 movies at your disposal. But the truth of it is that it is becoming more and more difficult to be able to have, a DVD selection. And I mean, this is just the indicator. It's just the indicator is, look, they stopped putting CD players in cars after a while, right? Because no one uses CDs anymore. You don't burn your own CDs. You just throw your music onto your phone or your iPod or whatever it is, and then you plug that into your car, and now you've got all of your music. There's no reason for a CD player. You don't need a CD player. You just need a little USB port on your car stereo now, right? Same thing. DVDs. CDs, CD-ROMs, all that stuff could be handled by one drive on your computer, Blu-rays even, high definition everything. PCs don't come with that anymore. It's almost not even an option. Like, I really mean physically not even an option. Almost all of your high end PC gaming cases don't even have the knockouts to be able to put a disk drive in the tower. And that tells you something. That tells you that the market is no longer trying to get CDs and DVDs. You have one in your PC? Awesome. I have one in my PC because I insisted. That's why I have this giant janky tower. Because it's big enough to handle all the stuff that I want and it has room for the fucking devices. I want that Blu-ray burner right here. I want to be able to burn copies of my DVDs and my old CDs and stuff like that and keep them. I like to be able to keep all my media. I paid for it. I put money into that. I don't want obsolescence to take my money out of my pocket. You know what I mean? So we paid all that money for those DVDs. I'm going to fucking make sure they stay watchable. And have the devices to be able to do it. I mean, obviously, you can have a giant pile of DVDs. If you don't have a DVD player, you're not going to be watching a single one of them, right? Same thing with the PC. I want my PC to be able to do all the things that I want to be able to do. I don't want to have to go out of my way to get, like, a long string of USB hubs so that I can plug all of my stuff. I want my tower to have enough ports that I can generally plug in whatever I need to plug into it. It's my big gripe with, like... This guy. That's my big gripe with this guy. It's the same kind of thing as what I'm talking about with movies. I like this guy. My Surface tablet is freaking cool. I really like it. There's just one big issue with it. I had to go out and get a third-party device because the power port on here is not USB, and it just has two USB-C ports. So, like, if I wanted to be able to hook up an external monitor or any of that other stuff, I gotta plug this thing in there so that I can have all my USB, HDMI, and all that stuff ports. I even had to get that has the headphone jack, because this doesn't have a headphone jack. If all your stuff doesn't plug into a USB-C, you ain't using it, right? It's kind of annoying. I want my computer to be able to do all the things that it needs to do without having to get extra pieces to do it. I don't know. Sorry, rant. Ah. Sorry for the rant. Where was I? Drawing stream when? Ooh. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna be real with you right now. I have not for the last couple of months opened that thing up and even tried to start playing with Krita. Not at all. I just have not had the time and the leeway. The new iPhones in the US, do they have USB-C plugs? I think they're supposed to by now. I don't know if they do yet. I think they might still have lightning chargers. I know in Europe they passed that law, which actually is fairly fucking smart, and I appreciate that they did that. Because Apple is such a ridiculous offender for this. But yeah, Apple keeps coming up with new chargers, right? So that not only do you have to buy a new device, you have to buy all your peripherals over again because the port's different now. And so thankfully, the EU passed that regulation that now everything has to be USB-C or whatever. No more proprietary USB connections or chargers. They have to be a universal standard. Yeah, exactly. To cut waste and to cut spending, honestly. Consumer spending. Because think about it, it's not just about... It's not just the fact that you had to take all your stuff that was useful and throw it away, which is fucking retarded, but you also have to go out and spend new money on new shit that does exactly the same thing as the stuff that you had. It just has little dinky... it's stupid. They have been like that from the beginning. As a matter of fact, I 20 plus years ago, I went to a computer class and they were laughing about how if the PC was a car, it would be General Mechanics. because all of the parts are interchangeable across all the different vehicles. And if Apple was to be a car, it would be a Ford, because every single new year, all new parts, different stuff. Every time there's a new model, completely different. Doesn't work with any. You can't pull a physical part from here and move it over to this older one or to this newer one. It just doesn't work. So anyway, back to shitting on Hollywood.
And 2019, but in 2020, as the result of the big sneeze, cinema sales dropped off significantly. To put in perspective just how poorly Hollywood is doing, Disney CEO Bob Iger, one of the biggest culprits with relation to squeezing money out of existing IP, admitted the industry has lost sight of its primary objective, entertainment. During an interview in 2023, Iger said that Disney needed to focus on the story rather than messages fueled by agendas.
To honor the day I was born.
Sure. And what have they done since he said that?
Snow White.
Focused on message and genders?
Okay, when Bob Iger is showing up to say that there's too much agenda, you know that his pocket is starting to hurt. Don't have enough billions over there, Iggy boy? Honestly, the punishment for these Disney execs should be to strap them to a chair and make them watch every remake they've ever produced, one after the other.
The flop of Snow White? You mean Slow White? Yeah, I heard about the flop of Slow White. Fucking Snow Dingy and the 7 horrors. The 7 creepy what the hells. Lord Farquaad and the 7 Discord mods.
But here's the thing. Despite Iger's words and this seemingly industry-wide acknowledgement of the problem, Hollywood's answer hasn't been to make better stories. It's been to remake and reboot the
Snow
most
Not So
successful
White and the 7
classics from the
CGIs.
last 30
I'm telling you, the best one I've heard so far, is Lord Farquaad and the 7 Discord mods.
years without any of the soul and heart that made them matter in the first place. And if the last decade or so has showed us anything, it's not only that Hollywood has lost sight of entertainment, it's lost its nerve. I'd argue that for most of us 80s and 90s kids, we grew up in what feels a bit like the golden age of entertainment.
She really looks like they really put her in there looking like Lord Farquaad, dude. I cannot believe it. Like, in all of her press junkets and everything like that, she has long hair. She's got long hair, right? In all of her like test photos and all the other stuff that you see, she's got long hair. In the movie, chopped short for no good reason, and it's a bad bob. It is not a good one. It looks horrible. She looks like one of those little like. You ever seen like a bad medieval movie, and they've got that guy that's like the knight, and he's got the little blonde dude next to him that's like basically a twink, and running around like carrying all of his stuff, like, "No, sir, dear lord, no, let me assist you, lord." And that's that guy. That's they cut the little that hair, that weird bowl cut hair, and they put that on that chick for that movie, and I don't understand
in the
it.
not too distant past, Hollywood wasn't afraid to try. We had access to incredible variety. Yes, there were of course big budget films that brought us movie stars and explosions, but we also had low budget gems that built cult followings and made massive marks culturally. Films like Top Gun, for example, with Tom Cruise screaming across the sky with his goose, was quintessential 80s, and it captured people's attention at the time, leading to its massive success at the box office.
Airplanes.
Or The Matrix, which was considered an expensive movie to make, but is still culturally relevant over 20 years later for its beautiful cinematography, great characters, and prophetic writing. Or
and
even
good concepts.
The Blair Witch Project, which, while it wasn't the first, was one of the most successfully marketed found footage films, and it scared the crap out of people who walked into the cinema believing they were witnessing real events. This actually came out when I was a lot younger, obviously, and I remember my friends We wanted to get this at the film shop, but I was too scared to watch it. I still have never seen the Blair Witch Project because I feel like it'll freak me out. Anyway, this was a movie that cost $60,000 to make, and yet it left an enormous mark on the industry, helping to popularize an entire film genre.
First time chat.
And
Yo.
the kicker, this
Hi.
movie was made with a
How's it going?
couple $1,000 and a camcorder.
So, just for your information on the first time chat, we are watching Sydney Watson talk about how boned Hollywood is and why all of our movies have been shit for the last few years. I hope you don't mind. Why am I stalking a girl? What? That doesn't make sense.
And it ended up making $240 million. Television during this time also gave us some notable, impactful entertainment, like The X-Files or Buffy the Vampire Slayer. You know that audio on TikTok about being spooky that'll...
Wait, which one? The Blair Witch Project? Blair Witch Project was a college found film project, meaning they made a movie based off of found footage. The concept being that we didn't film it, we just found this and put it together. But yeah, it was a pretty good one. And for the time, since it wasn't like a widespread genre and it hadn't been utilized in a long time, they did it really well. So I got to give them credit for that. I didn't like the Blair Witch Project personally as a movie, but it did a really good job, and especially since they only put like a few $1,000s into it, and they ended up getting back a huge return. It was very successful. Look it up. It's called the Blair Witch Project. Again, it's probably... I mean, now, 20 years later, everyone knows that it was a hoax or whatever. But at the time, it was pretty sincere. People actually believed in it. It was kind of like that whole War of the Worlds thing. No reason to believe in it, but people did. So, cool.
all of the weird smut reading girls are into. Yeah, that's from the X-Files. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm glad for you. Because Book Talk is a weird place. And I'm almost convinced most of these people belong in prison.
They feel your methods, your theories are...
Spooky? Do you think I'm spooky?
Go
Yes.
call your dad.
Personally, I'm unironically rewatching Malcolm in the Middle at the moment because
Malcolm in
sitcoms
the Middle
from
is
the
good.
90s and 2000s are peak entertainment in my book, and I miss them, and I want them back. Just kidding, they're apparently remaking this too.
No.
Why can't I just have one thing? That's my...
Why are they remaking Malcolm in the Middle? Seriously. The main kid, what's his name? Fuck, I can't even remember his name. What did she say it was? She just said that shit. Frankie Muniz. That guy doesn't even remember... Dude, I don't know if you guys know this, right? Frankie Muniz was Malcolm, the main kid or whatever. He actually doesn't remember most of the show. Like, being on the set even. He doesn't remember it. He's like, he's got some sort of like mental thing going on.
This too. Why can't I just have one thing? That's mine. And of course, I have to mention this. Not every piece of entertainment hit.
The fuck is
there
that?
were plenty of flops during this time period. Plenty of movies that just did not resonate. But the point is, studios gave creators room to breathe. They had freedom to experiment.
Sounds like a side effect of depression? Well, the 90s was rife with depression. I'm not going to lie about that.
To throw ideas at the wall, and some of these ideas stuck so much so that they've hung around all these years later. Fast forward to now, and that's all but gone. Where we once had variety, we now have sameness. Where there was once risk, there's caution. Where there was once intention, real care in storytelling, in cinematography, in making something that lasted, there's unfocused, directionless propaganda. Before the crutch and over-reliance by studios today on CGI, the only way to get a movie greenlit was to have a great bloody script and a vision. In the past, artistic expression was baked into the filmmaking pie, and it showed up in almost all ways. Storytelling, the characters that were chosen and explored.
I like that. I like that. That's a good way to remember people. It's a good way to remember people. You only remember them if they make a heavy enough impression I usually remember jerks. Actually, I take that back. I tend to I tend to forget people. I tend to forget jerks. Now that I'm reflecting upon it, I actually have a really interesting habit of identifying jerks and then forgetting them. Like if I see them again, I'll remember they're a jerk, but I don't. Huh. I have a hard time remembering my own birthday, name, and address. That's okay. Just give me your name and address, and I'll remember them for you.
The plot lines, even the look of the film itself.
Creepy.
On this front, I've actually seen some really great videos made by people explaining why films today look so bad and why it's so jarring. Simply put, most of them look like they're shot in a sterile lab, and that's almost because they are. Everything is green screened into oblivion so producers can add things later as they please. And it gives movies the appearance of being too crisp and too clean, like you're watching sports instead of a movie about murders or something. Although, I don't know,
It's crap.
maybe some of you like your murderers crispy and bright.
This is the worst.
I'm not a thirst trap. It's
New
too early in the morning
films
for that.
miss the grit and texture that made old classics dynamic. Shadows were saturated and lighting had actual depth. A particularly good video by
Have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight? It's afternoon that I can't win.
Patrick Tommaso highlighted several examples of this.
I can't win.
Like the 2007 film Superbad, which he commends for its picture quality, but also the intentionality behind everything in the scenes, like the 70s vibe created by the wood in the rooms and the carpet on the floors, the wardrobe selection.
I'm a woman, what do you expect? I'll tell you what I expect from a woman. Nothing. I don't expect anything. Honestly. I don't expect a damn thing from a woman. At this point in my life, I've come to realize that I need to be the sole source of my own comfort. You know what I mean? I don't have anyone to rely on. So I've learned that you don't rely on other people. You rely on yourself. Like, I do admit, you guys cheer me up a lot. So I do rely on you guys to cheer me up a lot. But really, when it comes down to it, I'm responsible for that too. So, I mean, the only thing I expect from a woman is probably to ignore me.
And so on. Because cinematography used to be done with intention. There was creative expression and thought behind the shots, messages and purpose in the scenes, whether you were paying attention to those things or not. Everything we saw was there because it was selected to be there. He highlights the 1998 Parent Trap for this too, giving us this one beautiful specific shot where light is cast across Elizabeth's eyes. He explains this is hard to do now, given that films are shot bland and boring with flat lighting and an abundance of green screen. And this sort of goes to Matt Damon's point about the death of the DVD. He explained that years ago there was so much more room in cinema for genuine artistic expression. There was more room for different kinds of storytelling because it wasn't contingent on insane film budgets or even more insane profits. Fantastic movies could be made for a fraction of what they cost today, and they'd resonate so much more with audiences because they'd be real. Now, there is so much risk involved in that, and there is so much fear that movies will not perform. And it's
Okay, that brings to mind something. I think it was MGM. Let me give me just a second. I want to look something up real quick. I think it was MGM. The audience in the pod race in Star Wars was, yeah, dude. That's one of the good shots that they actually did with a whole bunch of repeat CGI. Let me see. What was it? It was. Let's see if I can find that. Yeah. So that's what it was. MGM was focused on what was it? It was we make films to make films. What was it? Anyway, when they first, yeah, that's what it was. Okay, so in the 20s, Metro Goldwyn merged with the company something B Meyer. I can't remember exactly what it was, but anyway, the Metro Goldwyn Mayer, the MGM label that everyone's familiar with, is the lion, right? The roar, the lion, and he's in the little round thing with the banner and all that. The banner itself. The reason why I'm bringing this up is the banner itself has this in Latin. It says "Ars gratia artis," right? Art for the sake of art. The original concept was to stop having all these different companies make garbage, bring them all together to pool their resources so that they could make art. And that's what movies were supposed to be. They were supposed to be an expression of vision from this director or this writer or this producer, but there was the intent to bring something to life that had never been before and to show it to the world and to let the world. It used to be scared of the lion. Fair enough, dude. Fair enough. Lion roaring is a little bit weird, but that's what the whole gig was 100 years ago. Was let's make art. Let's make art. You know, it's kind of like it's kind of like the AI versus artist battle today. Is what movies the movie industry is a pretty good example of that. The idea of making movies used to be to show people art. Now it's about money and only money. And AI is kind of the same way with AI art is an artist can show you art, an AI artist can make money really fast. I guess. I don't know. Um, you remember when they said perfume can't be made into a film? Oh, that movie. That movie is special. Special. Um, Very special movie. I'm not going to talk too deeply about the movie Perfume right now, but it was an incredibly good movie. As far as movie, for like a movie for the sake of being a movie, it was very good.
Such, those risks are simply not taken. And for us 80s and 90s babies, we notice it more than anyone because we know what we're missing. It's also worth noting, as an aside, that Hollywood now has to contend more than ever, it seems, with actors and actresses getting on the red carpet and saying psychotic things to the press. Like our friend Rachel.
Weird.
Okay, before we let her go, AI is not bad. Some people using it and training it are. All right, here's my view on AI. My view on AI is like this: AI is not bad. AI is a tool. It is like every other tool. It depends on how you use it, right? The premise of AI for art is that it's bad because it's just amalgamating other artists' work. It's not actually original, and I can get that. I can get behind that. I openly admit that I use AI for art. I don't use AI to make my art. I use AI to make references that I then use to be able to draw what I want. I feel like that's a fairly correct use of AI for an artist. That's for me. Because I have trouble envisioning things and putting them on paper because the picture in my head doesn't have a complete like set proportion or shading or any of that stuff. So when I can look at an item and it doesn't change physically and I can use that as a reference for what I'm doing, that works. Um, and obviously I don't copy anything. It's just I need to have something to look at to be able to. I don't have a good one. I don't have a good inner picture. I can force it to congeal, and as soon as I stop forcing it to congeal, it just dissipates. So I know what I want, but I can't just see what I want and then do it. And you're right, Danny. Hollywood just doesn't want to take the risk. There's no room for the risk. They need to make money, right? They got shareholders. Shareholders want their stocks to go up. They don't want their stocks to go down. You know what I mean? People are investing in this. Like, when I know a lot of people don't necessarily know this, but the movie studio doesn't pay to make the movie. Generally speaking, they don't put their own cash up. They put up investors' cash, and then those investors become executive producers on the movie, and they get their name in the credits. But that's where they get that money from to make those movies up front, and they got to recover it later and then pay all those people back. And so that's when they talk about the studio as losing money, is because the movie has been made. Now they're contractually obligated to pay back the people that they borrowed money from. And so until those people are paid back, they can't just start calling it profit. They have to wait until everyone's paid back before they can go, okay, this is what's left over. We're fucked. so yeah, Hollywood can't take risks because they're putting up other people's money and they need to pay them back.
Hush your face. Just shh, shh. Anyway, so with no nerve to speak of, with the ever-changing
You nailed it,
theatrical
News.
landscape
That's exactly
because
what
of
happens.
streaming services, what does Hollywood decide to do, you might ask? It turns to what's already worked. Our childhoods, the classics, and hits copy-paste. And frankly, this might be where my biggest issue comes from. It's bad enough that we are drowning in remakes and reboots, and not only of films that are actually old, but those that haven't even been around for a decade. But it sticks in my guts that they're remaking this entertainment without any of the components that made these pieces so successful in the first place. In the last 20 years, Disney has made a total of 22 remakes, sequels, prequels, and reboots, including Alice in Wonderland, Cinderella, The Jungle Book, Pete's Dragon, Beauty and the Beast, Dumbo, Aladdin, The Lion King, Mulan, and Snow White, and so on and so forth. And coming this year and the next is Lilo and Stitch and Moana, just to add to the count. There's no trailer for this yet, so instead I hope you enjoyed this clip of a rock that I found. And as most of you already probably know by now, one of the biggest criticisms being thrown Disney's way has a lot to do with their scary use of CGI, but also
Yes.
the lack of meaningful storytelling. Not to mention eliminating all of the charm of the original hand-drawn animations. But Disney is just one company. Now imagine what the Hollywood landscape looks like when everyone is participating in this remake explosion. Just kidding, you don't have to imagine because it's happening. To put some of this in perspective, since 2007, there have been 3 Spider-Man iterations. 3. All with their own criticisms and critiques. And it's actually to the point where you need to explain the year in order to determine the film. Fantastic Four, which was a catastrophic failure in cinemas in 2015, is already back in 2025. That's a 10-year age gap for anyone counting. Texas Chainsaw Massacre has had 5 movies since 2003, and at this point this is remake inception because the 2022 movie is a remake of a remake. We even have a live action How to...
Alright, that one pisses me off. TCM was one of the best slasher films ever when I was a kid. And it's based off a real story. So it makes sense. Having remakes and sequels of Texas Chainsaw Massacre doesn't make sense. The original one was based on a real story. The rest of them are based on the based on, and then they rebooted the reboot of the based on. That's madness. It's like I don't even have an analogy for that. I just don't even have an analogy for that. I can't even relate that to something else. Wow.
Train Your Dragon coming later in 2025, although the original animation is just over 15 years old. But then there are other films and shows that absolutely nobody asked for, like a live-action Scooby-Doo, or the upcoming I Know What You Did Last Summer, or the Final Destination reboot. Not to mention Shrek 5, Toy Story 5, Moana 2, the new Harry Potter series, Jurassic World 4,
Oh, I don't know if you guys heard about that. Small side note here. Small side note. Moana. Cute story, right? Nice, had The Rock and all this stuff. And they're making a sequel, Moana 2, right? Because that makes sense. Turns out that Disney is actually being sued over Moana. Yeah, I don't know how this is going to turn out or how true it is necessarily, but apparently, with the advent of the second movie coming out, a gentleman is coming out of the woodwork and pointing out that, hey, more than 10 years before you made the movie Moana, I wrote this story that's almost exactly the fucking same. And I submitted it to you guys, and you told me it wouldn't work. And then they made it into a movie. So now, whether or not that guy is actually telling the truth, or whether he's got the right of the whole thing, apparently Disney didn't even make the movie or didn't even write the movie Moana. Some other guy wrote the story. They stole it and made movies from it. That's the level of creativity that Disney's got right now. Is legal creativity, not actual story creativity.
27 and Fast and the Furious 30. And who the hell asked for another Freaky Friday? Like, seriously, who is this for? Listen to me. I know not a soul wanted Jamie Lee Curtis to become relevant again, or whatever it is she's trying to do here. I think I can speak for all of us when I say I wish that she'd just disappear into the pit of Hollywood weirdos. We have remakes of movies that didn't even need to be remade, like Mean Girls or the proposed White Chicks, which we know is going to be absolutely horrific.
Why?
They
Why?
can't make
Why is
fun
this even necessary? This is the Wayans brothers. Dude, okay. If you guys don't know what this movie is, White Girls, this is the... I'm just gonna ruin this movie. The Wayans brothers, obviously two black dudes, dressed up as white girls to protect another white girl. They're bodyguards, right? And so they're white chicks that act like black dudes, because they actually are black dudes that are dressed up as white chicks. They're remaking this movie? But why? Why?
movies
No
like
one
they
needs
used
this.
to anymore because political correctness just trumps everything. Maybe it would have been fine if the studios were trying to recapture the magic of the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. Maybe most of us could overlook the attempt to cash in on our nostalgia or the attempt to bring these stories to today's generation. Maybe all of this could be forgiven if these films were executed properly, but they aren't. Writers today seem to have lost the special sauce that it took to make entertainment that could actually endure. With the rise of the
remaking old games, I could dig it.
hypersensitive political correctness,
Remaking
the entertainment
movies is a
industry
little...
took one enormous step into progressivism. And the result is that they're making entertainment from our childhoods without the things that made that entertainment actually good. Because now you can't make politically incorrect jokes. You can't be fun for the sake of it, can't exclude any group of people. Everyone must be represented. There's no room for offensive language. There's no room for soul. What's really interesting is how most of these studios are trying to sell nostalgia, but they are completely unable to properly execute this kind of a product. And like I said, they are just reproducing shows and films that were once popular without the things that made them so good in the first place, and are instead injecting and replacing those good things with a very specific ideological agenda.
Okay. Just... I think Sydney's cute, okay? I think Sydney is cute. I just have to say it. Sydney Watson is cute. She's a cutie. A little cutie.
Progressivism. the agenda's progressivism. So this brings me to my last point, which is really 2 points that I have mashed together. When I first
Hi,
started
Seffi.
working on this video, it occurred to me that those of us born in the 80s and 90s, and actually anybody over the age of 28 really, has potentially aged out of what's popular. And maybe this entertainment isn't meant for us anymore, although
Hi,
it's
Random.
being marketed to us. And honestly, I do think that this is true to an extent. Hollywood is chasing a younger crowd with shorter attention spans and streaming habits that are totally different to what we grew up with. As a result, we're living in the age of fast food cinema. Entertainment that's slapped together to appeal to the ever-shortening attention spans of the TikTok generation. Explosions, quick cuts, big stars, no real substance. The people working on these films don't seem to have the same attention to detail. They don't seem to take the time to properly flesh out characters or get the plot exactly right. Because how could you possibly tell a nuanced story to your viewers when they can't even be bothered to watch long enough to absorb it? To Matt Damon's point, maybe this is why we see a lot more big budget films these days, predicated on things from the past, because at least those things are tried and true. And maybe it's better and easier to take this road as far as Hollywood people are concerned, rather than take the risk on doing something new.
So yeah, I agree. That's what we've been talking about, is there's no room for risk anymore. There's no room for risk, and so there's no room for art. All they can do is try to latch onto something that they know made money before, and then try to make it make more money again. That's all they got. There is no room for the creativity that we all really desire. So I guess what it really boils down to is, if you ever want to watch a really good movie again, better start writing one.
It's easier to keep pooping out Star Wars films
What
and
is
Marvel
this?
anything than
Hold on a second. I'm getting all the light flares ever. Still getting light flares. What the heck? How's that even possible? Weird. Weird.
produce something that is new and interesting. So time and time again, studios roll us back around to what's proven, our nostalgia, rather than risk a flop. To be fair here too, and I think this is worth saying, not everything today is terrible. I have watched movies recently that I thought, wow, that's not bad, like Bullet Train, but maybe that's because I am rubbing together my last 2 brain cells, and that's what they wanted. We actually have had some pretty amazing mini-series and short documentaries filling the gap and the hole left by good cinema, like Midnight Mass, Squid Game, Dracula, Shogun, if that counts. I really hope it counts. And in saying this too, not everything from the past was a major hit either. This is what Sturgeon's Law is all about, actually, the concept that 90% of everything is crap. And you know what? I actually think this is true to an extent. For every Jurassic Park, there was an Inspector Gadget. And for every Good Will Hunting, there was a Bad Will Hunting. It's a terrible joke, but I am hilarious, so leave me alone.
I like her.
I think the problem is that if Sturgeon's Law is correct, the 10% of good cinema that prevailed has now become today's 90% of crap. And that honestly this just makes me really sad. It's like Hollywood is mining
Jesus
for gold,
Christ, that's
melting
horrible.
it down, and handing us cheap tin in its place.
Wow, that's
which
horrible.
is awful, just awful.
Look, Lord Farquaad, right there. Hold on. Hold on. I gotta do this. I gotta do this. This is important to me. What the heck is this? What the heck? You see this face? You see this face right here? That's that face. That's that face. That's, like, dude, they're family. They're related. That's brother and sister right there. Look at this ridiculousness. Same forehead, same frickin'... It's just there. That's just there, man. Look at that. I don't know if you guys can see. Damn it. Oh, it's off to the side. Anyway, the point is, look at these two. Look at these two. They literally, I swear to God, it's like Disney went out of their way and they were like, what other Disney character could we make her look like that isn't actually Snow White? That isn't actually Snow White. No favors, dude. Are you kidding me? Now, hold on a second. I just want to bring this up. This is what Snow White is supposed to look like. We just saw the Lord Farquaad. No, 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 not Rachel Zegler. Alright, did Snow White have shorter hair? Yes. Yes, that is a real thing. Snow White did have short hair. However, Snow White's short hair looked like this. It was cute, with a bow. It had body, but it was not... Look at this. She had, like, cuteness going on here, right? It wasn't just some fucking rolled down bob. There was, like, actual volume and hair and things going on. Rachel Zegler straight up looks like a dude haircut. Right? Like, this and this are not the same haircut. I'm sorry, but they are not the same haircut. I don't know how this is supposed to work. I don't have girl hair, but I know that this is not the same thing. This is not the same thing. As a matter of fact, this right here looks like a wig. Is that weird? Did they... Is that what... Oh. Oh. I get it. I get it. It is a wig. It's a wig. It's a wig. That's how they did this. Look, see how she has longer hair? They fucking rolled and tucked her shit up there and then gave her a wig. I swear to God. If they didn't, then that's fucked. The dress isn't even correct. You're not wrong. It's not right at all. Snow White. Snow White. Rachel Zegler. Like, they tried. Sort of. Like, this costume must have set him back like $2 or $3. Like, that's bad. That's bad. Or she has damn good extensions. Nah, dude. Nah. Look. Rachel Zegler. Alright, now, I'm not going to say she's ugly. She's not my type or whatever. She's okay looking. But, like, look at this. She has long hair. She looks alright. When she has long hair, she looks alright. When she has long hair, she looks alright. When she's got this hair, she kind of looks like you want to hit her in the face with a tennis racket. Could be extensions? Nah, dude. Nah. That's actual hair. That's actual hair. She's got actual hair. You can see split ends. You can see the split ends. This might be extensions. Okay, I maybe this is extensions, but I tend to believe that she actually has hair. Like, this is a few days ago. She's got hair. Look, it's flat, it's natural. This is the kind of hair that she would normally have, right? Flat, natural hair. What the fuck is this? Like, whose plan was this? I feel like they just, like, took her hair, bundled it up in the back, and then tucked it into a net, and then just threw Lord Farquaad wig on top of her. It's pretty messed up. I also like this one. This is another funny one. Is they're trying to blame the failure of Snow White is obviously this chick. Like, there's like, okay, the CGI, the rewrites on the story, all the bad stuff. Yes, that would have definitely put a dent in the movie when it came out. However, this movie has been dented for the last 2 years before it came out, and it's all from this chick right here, right? And so for the last couple of weeks, I've been kind of laughing for like the last week and a half or 2 weeks or whatever, because they're trying to blame it on Gal Gadot. Like it's her movie and it's her fault it's not going good. She looks like the background character in every fantasy show. She is a background character from every fantasy show. That is an actual accurate description. Actually, now I'm curious. What other movies has this chick even been in? What's her shtick here? What does she got besides this Snow White shit? She was in she was in a Hunger Games movie in 2023, so not an actual Hunger Games movie, but a side project Hunger Games movie. Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Right. And Spellbound. She did some voice acting in the movie Spellbound. Right. So basically, this chick is nothing. She's from nowhere. Hi, Plaps. You're on work break? Okay, cool. Sent you a weird dream last night in DMs. Okay, that's curious. She would have been better suited for Joker too. Birds of prey. But really, look, this is her whole acting. Like what? She's got some. All right. She's been on some soundtracks. I admit. All right. When people have skills, you got to give them credit for what they got. All right. She's got pipes. She can sing. I'll give her credit for that. She's been on some soundtracks. So good. You know, Snow White, Spellbound, obviously the movies that she's been in, and a couple of other movies. So cool. Cool for her. She actually can sing. Was Gadot the one that sang the one John... Yes, dude. Yes. Gal Gadot is the one who sang the John Lennon song during quarantine that went over bad because she has no singing voice and no sense of propriety. But yes, and actually, from what I understand, in the movie Snow White, you can tell directly where they cut off Gal Gadot's voice and put in a different voice actress for the singing parts. Like, it's actually very identifiable. Moist Critical was a better Hunger Games actor. Yeah, wasn't he the main character? But yeah, she's only been in a handful of movies and not actually good ones, really. I think she wasn't even one of the main characters in this movie. Wasn't she a side character in this movie? I feel like she was a side character. May I ask what her agenda is? Agenda? Her agenda is to be self-important. Whatever form that takes, as long as she can feel like she is an important person, that seems to be her only like psychological criteria for success. As far as I can tell. 1.5 stars is crazy. It's pretty messed up. She sucks. And the movie sucks too. I mean, it was okay, but this got a 5.9 out of 10. On the smart meter, this chick gets a 1 out of 7. This girl right here... Alright, so... female empowerment. I don't think that's her actual shtick, dude. I actually don't. I don't think she's an ally of LGBT or anything like that. I don't think she's particularly political. I think she's said plenty of pseudo-political things. But I really, really think that the only reason that she's opened her mouth in any way, shape, or form is to make sure that everyone knows how important she is. That's it. I mean, look, she hasn't been in big movie... In her interviews, she says shit like that. But does she actually mean it? Because I've seen a couple of the things that she said, and it really, like, killer just lays it all out for me. Like, after Snow White came out, she literally did, like, posted this on Twitter or something herself, that people were going to see the movie anyway because of her and how good she is in the movie. The movie's objectively bad, and everyone is saying it, and she still thinks that people are going to go see it because she's in it. Not because of Gal Gadot, or that it's Disney, or that it's Snow White, or anything else. She literally thinks that her own personal star power is going to draw people into the theaters. Well, how she's changing the character, that's all like, again, look, you gotta stand back and look at the bigger picture. What is the atmosphere of places where she's talking? You know what I mean? Like she's it's say like, all right, it's late 2023. Woke is the big thing still, kind of, right? And so she needs to be important. She's in front of a camera. What's she gonna say that's gonna make her look important, right? Oh, extra feminism and a little bit of extra this, because that's what's gonna make her important. And that's, I literally think that she doesn't believe in anything except for herself. Yes, queen narcissism, full narcissism. That's her shtick. As far as I'm concerned, I haven't seen anything that leads me to believe that she actually has any kind of a concrete belief behind her at all, except for I'm important, everyone should look at me, and I should be paid for that. After this video, when I see the new Mario Kart trailer, fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, I do. Link that shit. Let's watch that shit. Now, if you'll pardon me, I'm going to skim this little direct message I got from Plaps. Give me one moment as I peruse. I must read. Messenger. Dream inside of a dream. Dream inside of a dream is a good one. What? Whoa, dude, that's some levels on levels. That's some levels on levels right there. Alright, so Absent said he had a weird dream. And I have to agree. After reading it, that's a pretty weird dream. I really hope Yoko comes back before the month is over. She's so proud of herself. Dude, it is pretty impressive to see someone that, like, disconnected from reality and just so self-absorbed is pretty impressive. For sure. Snow White didn't need dwarves' help in the new movie. Yep, they did help in the... What did they do in the original? Did they go in to find anything? I haven't watched the original Snow White since I was a little kid. I don't know. And I miss Yoko too. I don't know what she's up to. I think she's moving and I think that's what's going on. I think she's moving and she's probably just trying to free herself from distractions. I think. I could be wrong. I'm hoping that's all that it is. I hope before her whole 1 month is over, I hope that she comes back and just spends a week or two playing Monster Hunter with us. Anyway, enough about this chick. Ugh. Just ugh. Ugh.
Want the shiny. I don't want the tin. Of course, there is so much more to say about this topic that we won't be getting into in this video, so I'm sorry about that. But I do want to make note of the fact that I am aware that there are some videos that exist that are remakes that are better than the originals, like Scarface.
I buried those cockroaches!
But today's remakes and reboots and reimaginings just cannot hold a candle to what has come before. And ultimately, for me personally, I would much rather go to the cinema and see something new and interesting, to be given the chance to see something that I potentially have never seen before and heard of before, than to be given the same handful of ideas and stories on repeat. A well-timed and well-executed remake or reboot here and there is perfectly fine. But when this kind of entertainment is what almost wholly makes up the entire Hollywood entertainment landscape, we have a big problem. In the end, with so much change to the entertainment industry over the last number of decades, I'm not sure that we ever will go back to the way that stories used to be told. But for the foreseeable future, we are definitely stuck on this road. So I don't know about the rest of you, but I really can't wait to see Final Destination 74. Now on that note, and before I open the floor to all of you, this is just a reminder to check out Incogni using the link in the description. As you guys know, or maybe don't know, when I talk about
Isn't she cute? Isn't she a cutie?
products on this channel,
I think
it's
she's a
things that I
cutie.
actually use, so I feel
Test?
very strongly about Incogni, and I feel very strongly about the data broker thing. So if you two are also concerned about this, definitely check them out. Use my code to get 60% off an annual plan. Now I open the floor to all of you. What do you all think? Are you on my side of this issue where you think, yeah, I am?
Ah, I see. Okay. You've seen a few objective reviews for Snow White? What do you got? What do you got?
Tired of the reboots and the remakes. I want to see something new. I need to
Okay, maybe she's not the cutest ever, but she's cute.
see
Okay.
something new. Are you on
Sue
the
me.
other side of this issue where you think this is not that big of a deal? I like seeing these stories retold. I like seeing them expanded on. Do you think that Matt Damon is right and the DVD, the death of the DVD, signaled kind of the death of Hollywood? Do you think that it's a good thing? Do you think it's a bad
I think the best person to watch for an objective review, and I know he couches things kind of in a way that's, well, he does it for entertainment value, but I think the guy who objectively reviews movies the best is probably the Critical Drinker. I think he's probably the best movie critic out there right now. I mean, he does talk a bunch of shit, but there's a reason for that. He's right. So, take it with a grain of salt. But I honestly do think that his movie and show reviews are pretty much fucking top notch. Anyway, now that we've gone through this, let's take a look at this trailer here for the new Mario Kart, because that's something I am definitely interested in.
Let's go!
Yes. Oh, dude, this already looks awesome. Fuck yeah. Hell yeah. Rip it. Items. Show me items. Oh, rad. They've got a boat type now. Dude, this is rad. Yes. New vehicles. New tracks. Grinds? They've got grinds? Oh, dude, that's epic. This is gonna be such a good game. What? What? What was that? Wait, hold on. Dude. Dude, this is gonna be so cool. Okay, I'm not like pro at Mario Kart or anything, but I like Mario Kart a lot, so this is gonna be cool. I need to, once I get my new PC set up, I'm gonna get a capture card so I can play this stuff on.
Exclusively on the Nintendo Switch 2 system. Welcome to this vast world.
Oh!
Kart races are held throughout various regions that span the globe. Depending on the time of day and weather conditions, the atmosphere will change.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, so there's going to be weather conditions. There's new modes, and the weather affects... If the weather actually affects driving, that's going to be so cool. Dude, as soon as I get this game,
And in
I
this Mario
hopefully
Kart
will have a
game-
capture card at the same time.
You can go off the racetrack and drive virtually everywhere in this world. In the classic Grand Prix, race through 4 courses in a bid for first place. But don't sleep at the wheel. You'll also drive to the next course as part of the competition.
Drive to the next course.
With 24 drivers in each race, the most in series history, the competition is gearing up.
24-player races?
Introducing Knockout Tour. Race non-stop from one corner of the world to another.
Dude, they're way fixing
There
this
are
up.
multiple checkpoints along the way.
I am not disappointed already.
If you're below the placement shown when you hit a checkpoint, you'll be eliminated.
Elimination
you
races
make it all the
too?
way to the finish line? You can also
Aw.
freely drive around this vast world in free roam.
Oh my god, dude, that is what I want.
By going off-road, you can explore new areas and routes.
This is
So
exactly
drive
what I was
wherever
talking
your heart
about.
takes you. You can also go for scenic drives
Yeah, dude,
with
new
friends,
characters,
and
new game
even take
modes,
photos together
new
at different
vehicles,
locations.
a free roam, dude, sandbox mode. This is exactly what I was talking about. I wanted bright, colorful sandbox mode. I'm like drooling.
A brand new race across the entire world starts here. Mario Kart World!
Fucking awesome
The
looking.
game
Holy
launches
shit.
on the same day as Nintendo Switch 2.
Ah.
More details about this title will be shared in an upcoming Mario Kart World Direct. So be on the lookout for more information in the future.
Ooh, that's gonna be a. I'm looking forward to that. Ooh, yeah, yeah, we do. We got more games. Looks like 3 and 4. The Legend of Zelda Orchestra Concert. These are for the Switch 2, so
Upgrade your adventures in Hyrule on the Nintendo Switch 2 system. The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom games will both have Nintendo Switch 2 editions. Jump back into the adventure, now with enhanced resolution and frame rates.
okay, that's kind of cool.
They both support HDR, which makes the image more vibrant, and they have smoother, higher definition graphics.
Considering that Breath of the Wild is one of the prettier Zelda games that ever came out, the fact that they're stepping up the quality of the graphics and everything like that is going to be really good. I expect a lot of people will be happy with
the load times when
that.
warping are much faster, helping you explore Hyrule with ease.
Was a good game? Oh, hell yeah. A lot of people like this one. Faster loading times, too. That's awesome.
If you already own the Nintendo Switch games, your save data can be carried over.
That's a good feature.
On top of that, you can now create 2 manual save data files, so feel free to start a new game without worrying about losing your old data.
That's also awesome.
And introducing Zelda Notes, a new feature that can help you get even more out of your adventures in Hyrule. It's a game-specific service found in the Nintendo Switch app on smart devices that's exclusive to the Switch 2 editions of these games.
Interesting, but let's see what else we got. No, hey, you do what I tell you to. Show me other videos. Here we go. Let me see here. It's not that, Kirby and the Forgotten Land Switch 2 edition plus what? Oh, let's see here. So, it looks like they're revamping a bunch of games for the Switch 2 release. And that's cool. Yeah, I'm not sure about that one. Okay. This is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Is there one from today? This is super pretty. Look, they got off their Power World lawsuits long enough to make pretty new Kirby games. Fuck, speech. Mouth work. Alright, so, hold on a second. Hold on, that's where they came from. Fair enough. Let me see here. What do we got? We just looked at this. These are the rumored games. Not confirmed necessarily, but rumored games for the Switch 2. We did just look at that. I don't think this one's going to happen. Assassin's Creed Mirage is probably not going to happen for the Switch 2. My guess is that they were probably going to do this one off of the backbone of the earnings from their recent game, and that hasn't worked out. Plus the fact that Ubisoft is combining with Tencent and moving the Assassin's Creed franchise over to that new company, I don't think it's actually going to work out. I could be wrong, but I don't think it's going to work out. What else do we got? Assassin's Creed Shadows, no one cares. Final Fantasy VII Remake is supposed to hit for the Switch 2. I would actually play that. 7 Rebirth? Yeah. Elden Ring is on Switch 2. The Master Chief Collection is supposed to hit the Switch 2. It didn't. No, it didn't. Damn. At least they tried. Well, maybe I was wrong. Maybe it'll be good. I don't know. A flight simulator on the Switch could be interesting. That could be interesting. Hi-Fi Rush. Porting and partnering with current Switch lineups of games like Grounded, Pertinent, and the Ori games will eventually find their way to the Switch 2 and be patched with 4K support. Nah, who cares? Ori and the Blind Forest, nice. Ori and the Will of the Wisps, awesome. Sea of Thieves, have heard about this game, haven't looked at it, so I don't know. Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle and Sparks of Hope. We already released Mario Rabbids on Switch, so by doing another, we had 2 similar experiences on one machine. On Nintendo, games like this never die. There's 25 Mario games on Switch. Nintendo has advised that it's better to do 1 iteration on each machine. We were a bit too early. We should have waited for the next console. Alright, so basically what they're saying is they put out a version of this game on the regular Switch. It was premature, so they're going to be revamping it and putting it out on the Switch 2 with some extra stuff, so that's cool. Also, a rumored Mario 3D game. That could be interesting. Metroid, nice. I know you guys want this. I know you guys want to see this. I already know. Everyone here is going to like Metal Gear. Pokemon Legends. Currently scheduled to launch 2025. So I don't know if this will come. It'll probably come out on the Switch 2. It might be backwards compatible with the Switch 1. Maybe. I don't know if they'll do that or not. They'll probably just keep it to the Switch 2. Might have to try this one. I don't know. It depends on getting my hands on the new console and then also playing it. The Division, no one cares. Starfield, interesting. Fallout 4 and Diablo 4. I could skip that one easily. Okay, so the Switch 2 is going to come out with an interesting array of games, probably. Like a wide array of different games. And that's pretty neat. But this is... Kirby definitely looks good. I am looking forward to... This one's from 1 hour ago. What is it? This is Nintendo's latest little release. What are they showing us? It's going to be on both Switch 1 and 2? Okay. Then maybe I can steal the Switch we have now when my brother gets the Switch 2. Maybe I can steal that one and play Pokemon.
GameShare also supports online play.
You can also go for scenic drives with friends and even take photos together.
While using the game chat feature, your voice is recognized by a microphone built into the system.
Oh, okay. But you're still behind me, right? All right, let's keep going. Okay.
It can pick up your speaking voice clearly, even from a distance.
Look at this. Jump on here.
It's going to have TeamSpeak.
Right,
Built-in TeamSpeak.
Let's make a left right here. Let's make a...
When it's noisy around you, your voice will still come through clearly, letting you chat with ease.
How did you get hit by a bow?
What if you're trying to get the other person to hear the blender?
And you can use
That
this
hardly seems
feature
fair.
in handheld mode too, letting you easily chat with friends and family. If you open the chat menu and turn on game screen sharing,
Good job, good job. There we go, there we go.
you can also share your games.
Alright, so, confirmed. The Switch 2 will essentially have Discord built into it. Yeah, but we have the same thought process, Danny. Same thought. Yeah. So, it's going to have Discord built into it, essentially. Your voice chat, Discord voice chat, will be built into the Switch 2 console.
Screen.
Did you see someone just like go on top of that dinosaur?
Really? They can do that?
Can do it?
You guys, I just did it.
Oh, I want to do it too.
Oh, shoot. Oh. Ooh. Oh, he's trying to eat me. He's trying to eat me.
Okay, I got it. I got it.
Oh, no, 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 no.
Yay.
Okay. You can chat to your heart's content, even while playing different games.
Yeah, I know that one. It's so hard, right? It's tough.
Oh, wow. I'm like in the sky right here.
This is
I fell. I'm falling. I'm falling.
straight up, it's Discord voice chat.
Kirby, look, you're on a star. That's so cute. So cute.
Not cute.
You can adjust the
That
size
was
of
not
your
cute.
game screen. Guys, I'm lost. Like,
Where'd you go?
or expand another friend's game screen.
You gotta get above that wall that's to your left. You're almost there. It's just like the
Why couldn't they have done all this 5 years ago? Yeah, tell me about it. It's not like it wasn't available.
So everyone can watch them play.
Oh, I think I know where you are. I think I know where you are. Wait. Okay, I think we have.
This is an hour long?
Ooh, okay.
Oh, nice.
Let's take.
However, since we'd like as many people as possible to experience game chat,
There it is. There it is. Okay. So you only get access to the built-in voice chat if you have the Switch Online membership. So we'll still be using Discord, ladies and gentlemen. We'll still be using Discord. We will not be going out of our way to pay extra money so that we can chat with people. Not gonna happen.
It will be
I knew there was a
available
catch.
without a membership for
20 a
limited
year, but
time.
still, dude, it's principle.
We hope you'll try it
It's
out.
principle. I have Discord for free. I'm not going to
Additionally,
pay to do
Game
the
Chat
exact
supports
same
the
thing.
Nintendo Switch parental controls app.
It's just
and
not going to
different
happen.
settings can be adjusted. For example, whether parental permission is always required when a child wants to use Game
I'm a
Chat
jerk
to
like
play
that.
with their friends.
We'd like to introduce another new experience you can share with family and friends.
Professional dubbing, right there.
On Nintendo Switch, even if you just have one game, you can pass a Joy-Con controller to a friend and play together. But on Nintendo Switch 2, you can play together locally on multiple systems using just one game, with Game Share. As shown here, even
Actually, that
games
right there is pretty
require
nifty.
multiple screens can be played if one person owns a compatible game. With Game Share, you can temporarily share compatible games with others who also have Nintendo Switch 2 or
That's a good point.
Nintendo Switch
There are the
system.
other games on there.
You can share a game with up to 3 other systems at a time. Game Share also supports online play with other Switch 2 systems.
Ah, now there's where it really gets interesting. So one person owns the game can, over the internet, share the game with other people who haven't paid for it. Up to 3 other people. So let's say I get the new Mario Kart, and then other people here can play it with me without having to buy the game. I like that a lot. That's a good feature. That's a really cool feature. Okay.
And you can use it with friends via Game Chat, which we showed earlier. Game Share can only be used with compatible games. This feature is planned for several titles, starting with a free update for Clubhouse Games 51 Worldwide Classics on Nintendo Switch. Game Share support is also planned for select games exclusive to Nintendo Switch 2, so we hope you'll look forward to it.
Up next, we'd like to show you the Nintendo Switch 2 system itself.
Yes, please. Show me your
Please take a look.
hardware. Okay.
At 7.9 inches, Switch 2 has a bigger built-in screen. Here's how that compares to Nintendo Switch. The system's thickness remains the same.
Okay.
With approximately double the pixels compared to Switch, you can enjoy games in greater detail on the 1080p screen. The screen supports up to 120 frames per second, allowing for smoother gameplay in supported titles. The LCD screen is more vivid and supports HDR, providing more contrast between light and dark areas of the images.
Okay.
The all-new Joy-Con 2 controllers connect magnetically. Strong magnets keep the controllers firmly attached to the system. Detach a controller easily by pressing the release button on the back. The SL and SR buttons are bigger for greater comfort and control when playing with a Joy-Con 2 held horizontally.
I need
The
that.
left and right sticks are now larger.
Good. Because I have retard thumb.
Each Joy-Con 2 controller can be used as a mouse to play with compatible games.
Really?
Both the left and right Joy-Con 2 support mouse controls. By adjusting the audio balance between the ranges, sounds from the built-in speakers are clearer and more natural in handheld and tabletop modes. It has a built-in microphone, so you can voice chat with friends anytime via Game Chat. It also uses noise-canceling technology to filter sounds, so your voice will come through clearly.
Good.
Even if you don't have a surround sound system, games can be enjoyed with more immersive, three-dimensional sound, as if it were coming from all around you. Place your Nintendo Switch 2 however you like with a large, sturdy stand. You can move it freely, like this.
That's going to be broken real easily.
In addition to the USB-C port found on the bottom of the system, there's one on top as well. It's handy for connecting a USB-C camera or charging in tabletop mode.
You know, it's almost like they've designed this for streamers, in a way. If you think about it, it's got pretty much all of the hardware utilities built into it that you would need to be able to stream almost straight from this device without anything else. Almost. Not quite, it seems. But it's pretty there.
Nintendo Switch 2 comes with 256 gigabytes of internal storage, 8 times that of Nintendo Switch, for storing your game downloads, save data, and more. Reading and writing data is also faster. Use the Nintendo Switch 2 dock to connect to your TV and enable up to 4K resolution for compatible games. HDR is also supported in TV mode.
Neat.
The Nintendo Switch 2 dock has a built-in fan that keeps your system cool. This helps keep performance stable.
Oh my god! A fan! It plays
On
games?
Nintendo Switch 2, you can play Nintendo Switch 2 games, as well as compatible Nintendo Switch games. Physical and digital games are supported.
What? That is so awkward. I just want to say, like, I get that they needed a way to attach the Joy-Cons to a frame so that you could use it as handheld by itself or whatever, but dude, this just looks so awkward to use. Oh, maybe I'm crazy. Well, that's one heck of a spoiler. Alright, give me 1 second, I'll be right back. You know, the world is such a weird and funny place. Use Pro Controller? Fuck yeah, Pro Controller all the way. Have something that's built for what you're using it for.
As you just saw, Nintendo Switch 2 isn't simply an improved Nintendo Switch.
No, it's got all kinds of new nifty stuff. The fact that you can use the Joy-Cons as a wireless mouse is pretty interesting, pretty weird. I like a lot of the upgrades they've done. Your Joy-Cons have barely seen any action. It's understandable. I like a lot of the little hardware changes they've done. I like that these are magnetically connected instead of the little latch-on. That's pretty good. That'll help save at least a few of them from getting broken, I think. Maybe. Of course, I'll always have to be careful with them because of my, you know, retard power. Like, there's way too much power for this lever right here. I got too much meat on one digit. Like, that's my hand without thumb, my hand with thumb. It's like almost twice as big. It's ridiculous. This is the source of many broken Nintendo controllers. Specifically this one too. I always break the joysticks. They're done. Anyway. Those dumb kids try to rip the Joy-Con out. That's the point, though. These are only on there magnetically. They don't have any little clips or anything like that. So you literally can just grab that thing and yank it, and it will come away from the device and not break. At least it shouldn't break. Obviously, kids will break these. These will end up breaking. There's no way around it. They will end up breaking. Kids are dumb. They like to hit things and break shit, and they get mad and break shit. You know what? I'm going to break me. I'm gonna break this right now, guys. I know it's been a few days and I haven't been streaming, and I know it's about an hour shy, but I need to get out of here. I need to get off here. I had no plan for today, and I am losing my goddamn mind. I have like this like slightly less than neighborly headache going on. What the fuck is this? Nope. What do you mean nope? Nope. 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 Okay. I need to... No, sir. No, sir. I need to do art. I need art. I need art time. I need to be able to... I've got three arts. I've got 3 arts right now. 4, technically. If I include Snowy. If I include Snowy, I have 4. I have Snowy. I have Sephi. He has a picture. Actually, his is at the top of the list right now because he won. That's a prize. I need to draw that for Sephi. He earned it. He earned it. He gets it. Then also Imhotep has been asking me to draw Furina for a while. And then I have the... Well, anyway, I have another one that I'm working on. The Philly in a sundress. Philly in a sundress. Philly in a sundress. Gotta work on that one. I will stay all day. I wish I could stay all day. I can't stay all day. In like an hour, I have to be outside working on stuff because it's not raining right now. It's going to be raining later today, and then I won't be able to do anything. So I've got to try and do some stuff before rain comes back. And I guess I can save art time for later today when it's raining. That's not so bad. Also, I finally got paid from that Monopoly sponsorship, guys. So guess what? Guess what? I am going to get a projector so that I can take my drawings and make them bigified and then put them on larger pieces of paper and hopefully do them with better detail and stuff like that. Maybe add some color or something. I don't know. I don't know. Look, guys, I'm winging everything at this point. But yeah, like, honestly, let me, like a whole pile of arts that I've done recently. Let me see here. Which one is the... This one? No, not this one. This one? No, not this one. Tee-hee. Not that one. This one? This is the one that needs more shading and stuff. This is the one that needs more shading and stuff that I still need to work on, but that's not the one that I was thinking of. I was thinking of this one. This one needs to be bigger. This one needs to be bigger. I want to make this one into a poster. I want to make that one into a poster. Who the heck is heckin'? Pardon me for one moment, this might be business. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is that. I must get off the phone, or must get off. That was a business phone call. I have to meet with, well, I have to meet with someone right now. They're literally outside waiting for me. So, peace out. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day. I will catch you on Discord. We will talk to you later and go over nifty things for this weekend and for next week and for drawing stuff and blah 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 blah. And I like you guys. All right, I will try to have a wonderful day. You guys have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you soon. All right. Bye 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 bye.